You guys know that sound on TikTok that's like, it's way worse than working in a gold mine. Like, dude, I cannot get that out of my head. I keep hearing, but it's not like we're working in a coal mine. It's way worse than working. Dude, I can't. Anyway, so today I want to talk about emotions. So I know the title of this video is Control Your Emotions, but before I get into this video and the message that I want to tell you guys, I want to say that emotions are not bad. Emotions are important and they help us. They're important to our survival. So I don't want you guys to have this negative view of emotions as if you're battling your emotions or it's something negative, like something that you shouldn't have to be dealing with, because we need emotions. I just want to give an example. For example, fear. So if you feel afraid, it is a signal that you are in danger and you should do something about that. Let's say, you're friends with someone and you have this feeling like something is off and you're like, well, I don't know, like they're really nice, but something seems off about them, and you listen to your emotions and you stop being friends with that person. A lot of times, like later down the line, you might find something out about them and you might be like, oh, I'm happy that I listened to my emotions. I'm happy that, I broke up with this person or I stopped being friends with this person. So our emotions are signals. It's like when you're hungry, you eat. When you're tired, you sleep. So your emotions help you to tell you what you need to be doing in order to survive. Because if you don't listen to your emotions that you're hungry, you're going to starve yourself to death. If you don't listen to your emotions that you're tired, you could die. If you never sleep ever at all, you literally could die, okay? It's like with all these emotions that we have, I know it seems inconvenient, but these emotions are here to help us. That is what they're here to do, to help us to survive as a species. And we can see this in other animals. Like if you see a raccoon, digging through your trash, it's because that raccoon was hungry. And if you're hungry and if you don't feed yourself, you're going to start to feel really terrible. You're going to start to feel all these pains in your stomach and in your body because your body is signaling to you, hey, I'm making you feel bad because you need to eat. And if you don't eat, you're going to die. So emotions are actually very helpful. And I think listening to them and having the self-awareness to know why you are feeling something is very important. So I didn't really want to make this to say push down your emotions or ignore your emotions or, control your emotions. I'm really making this to say that listen to your emotions and acknowledge your emotions, but you don't have to act on them, because we act on our emotions on a daily basis. All of us do. People can lie to themselves and say that they don't feel emotions or they're not emotional, but we all experience emotions on a daily basis. And a lot of times we act on them without even thinking about it. It's just like an autopilot thing. There's nothing wrong with acting on your emotions, but if you're not in tune with yourself and why you're feeling certain things, you can act on your emotions in a way that you don't want to. So for example, if someone gets angry, and if they, I think we've seen this with a lot of guys. They say that, guys aren't emotional, but then they get angry and they punch a wall, or they get in a fist fight with someone, or they start yelling and screaming, and they are acting through emotions because anger is an emotion. And so you want to make sure that when you are expressing your emotions or acting on your emotions, you're doing so in a way that benefits you and contributes to your long-term goals, so that you are happy with the decisions that you're making and you don't feel out of control. So even though emotions are important and they're here to help us, it doesn't mean that you have to act on your emotions. You have the power to not act on them or to act differently when you feel certain emotions. That is a decision that you can make. It might feel extremely difficult. Literally, it is extremely difficult to act a different way than what you usually do. You know what I mean? To change your behavior when you feel a certain emotion. But you can do it. It's just difficult to do. But if you are like super self-aware of what's going on and what you are trying to accomplish, it makes it a lot easier instead of just acting in this like autopilot mode, this like zombie mode of like you're just going with the flow. So for example, if you feel hungry and if you feel like you're craving a soda or fast food, just because you have that feeling doesn't mean that you have to give into that. So you don't have to act on that emotion. You can go home and eat something healthy that you have at home. And if you're thirsty, you can drink water, because it's not like your body needs soda. It's not like you need fast food. So it's kind of like that, telling yourself this is an emotion and I'm feeling like I need this, but I don't. But that feelings can be very strong. And so they can influence you in a way that you don't want to be influenced. So basically you can lie to yourself and convince yourself. You can be like, well, you know, let's say you have that strong emotion to get fast food. And then you start lying to yourself and you're like, oh, but I saw that they had a deal, like something is on sale, limited time deal, or, you know, technically I would save time if I stop by this fast food place, and, you know, it's not that big of a deal. And so you start lying to yourself and making all these things up so that you can give into a certain emotion. But you still have control over that. It is okay to feel uncomfortable. So if you don't give into a certain emotion, and if you feel uncomfortable and if you don't feel good about it, with that same example, so if you drink water and go home and eat something healthy versus, you know, getting fast food and a soda, you might feel a little upset or irritated because you really wanted it. But you guys, there's nothing wrong with feeling uncomfortable. I think that a lot of times we think that there's something wrong with being out of our comfort zone and feeling negative emotions. Sometimes when you're feeling negative emotions, it just means that you're in a transition and you're growing as an individual. So it's okay if you feel those negative emotions of, I really wanted to give into that desire and I didn't, and now I feel upset, now I feel bad about it, I actually want it even more now you're thinking about it more. It is okay if you feel like that. That's normal, because you're in that transition period of growing, of trying to be a better person, of trying to do away with bad habits that are not serving you anymore. So if you kind of get used to this of being uncomfortable and saying no to yourself, you will be able to get farther in your life and you're just going to be happier with yourself. Because I think I know how this feels, and we all know how it feels for time to pass and you realize that you have not gotten certain things done and you have not accomplished certain things. And you feel really bad about yourself. You feel like disappointed and you almost feel hopeless. Like, oh, well, you know, I really thought by this time I would have, you know, gotten this done, or I would have been at a certain place in my life and I'm not. And deep down, you know, it's because of your actions. You know, it's because that you're giving into certain emotions and you're not doing what you actually want to be doing. So you're not doing the specific things to reach your goals. For example, let's say you have a problem with spending money and you always give into that emotion, like, because guys, this is emotions, I'm telling you. Like these companies, they will use your emotions against you. They will make certain things look really shiny and amazing. Oh, it's brand new, it's on sale, limited time only. They will use all these fancy words and do all these specific things in order to make you feel something, to make you feel like you need to buy this. And so then when you give into these emotions, you can't save money when your goal is to save money. And then a few months down the line, you feel really bad about yourself. You're like, hey, you know, I'm still living paycheck to paycheck, and I know it's because I have a spending problem and I keep giving into my emotions. So it is okay to feel these emotions, because I don't think it makes sense to sit back and fight with yourself, like literally go back and forth and fight with yourself to make you not feel anything. That's not going to happen, okay? We are all always going to feel emotions, but it doesn't mean that you have to act on them. So this video is not really about controlling your emotions, it's about controlling yourself. You do not have to act on your emotions. That is a choice. And we see people making these choices. Sometimes this can work against you. Like that example earlier, if someone is in an abusive relationship and if they are afraid of the person that they're dating, they might still choose to stay despite that fear. And sometimes that can end in a very sad case of someone losing their life or someone being attacked. And so sometimes you feel a certain emotion, but you don't go anywhere, you don't act on it. And that can be for positive or for negative. And so I think it makes more sense to use that in a positive way and to your advantage if you already know that. If you already know that I do not have to act on this impulse. If you hear that noise in the background, that is my fridge making a bunch of noise. So I'm sorry that it is super loud. But anyways, another example that I think a lot of us struggle with is going to sleep on time. So you might feel that you want to stay up late, playing video games, scrolling on your phone, doing who knows what, but you don't have to give into that emotion. You can get up even if you don't feel like it. And you can force yourself to get ready for bed even if you don't feel like it. You can force yourself to lay down and close your eyes even if you don't feel like it. A lot of us are slaves to our emotions because we think that that's the only way that, I'm feeling a certain way and so I have to give into this emotion, but you literally do not. Literally, you have the choice to not do that. And with anything, this is gonna get much easier over time. But I think it's so difficult for some of us because y'all just don't practice it ever. Y'all always give into your emotions and you never practice the opposite of restraint, of saying, I feel this, but I'm not gonna give into this emotion. I, feel like I want to do this because of what I feel, but I'm not going to do it. I am going to do something else because I know my goals. I know, things that are important to me, so I'm not gonna give into this emotion. When you do that consistently over a long period of time, it's gonna become much, much easier and you're already gonna know what's happening. You're not gonna fall into autopilot mode. You're gonna be like, oh, I already know what's happening. I'm feeling an emotion and I'm not gonna give into it because I'm not gonna stray from my goals or what it is that I have to get done. And you know what, you guys, that makes you stronger. That makes you a strong individual. I would say, I don't want to say weak, but a lot of times it can be seen as, weak if you do not know how to control yourself or your emotions because you have not practiced enough and you don't have the mental strength to stop yourself from doing something just because you feel like it. That's why, you guys, it is okay if you see like a child, right? And they feel bad and they throw a tantrum on the floor. That's okay because that's a little kid. They literally don't know any better. But once you become an adult, you know better, okay? At a certain point in your adulthood, you should understand, hey, I'm not a little kid anymore. I know better. This is real life. I have to wake up. I'm an adult. So I just have to do what I have to do. If I want a better life, and if I want to be proud of myself, and if I want to accomplish my goals, then I cannot always give into my emotions like I'm a little kid. Like I'm a toddler, on the floor screaming and crying. I mean, that's not going to work. And again, I don't want y'all to have a negative view on emotions because emotions are important for our survival. So do not look at yourself and your emotions as, oh, I have to battle myself. Because if you look at it the opposite way as I'm going to work with myself, things become easier because there's not all this, resistance and fighting yourself. An example that I wanted to give earlier was I saw this case of this girl, and I'm sure she's not the only one, but there are some people who are born without the ability to feel pain, like physical pain. So you can hit them and they can scratch themselves and they're not going to feel anything. And that might sound great, right? That might sound like, oh, that would be amazing. Imagine if, I could exercise and I don't feel anything, or, someone could hit me and I don't feel anything, but it's actually super dangerous. And we see like documentaries of these people that they're born with that. And when they're babies, they claw out their eyes and they like bite their mouth and their teeth fall out. and they have all these health conditions because they can't feel pain. So they might accidentally bite themselves and bleed to death. They could have something seriously wrong with them and they wouldn't know because they can't feel anything. And so instead of going to the doctor and being like, oh, I'm really sick, they can't feel if they're really sick. So they could easily die. Like, it is a super serious health condition. I literally saw the parents like in this interview. They were like crying. They were like, I just wish like our daughter could feel pain, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so it's like in your mind, you think having no emotions is cool, not being able to feel is cool, but it's literally there to help you survive as a species, you guys. That's why also animals can feel pain as well. It helps them to be able to survive. That's why they feel a lot of the emotions that we feel. That's why we're all here. So it's important to view your emotions as, okay, what is this telling me? If I'm craving, you know, a lot of soda, am I dehydrated? Maybe I need to cut down on the soda that I'm drinking because I don't usually drink soda and I'm always craving it. Maybe I'm drinking too much. Maybe I just need to stop drinking soda completely. And have I been eating really unhealthy? Let's say you feel really irritable all the time. You're mad at everyone, right? And you're always mad at yourself. You're mad at somebody. Is there something else going on there? I mean, is there maybe unhealed trauma that you haven't really looked at within yourself? Is there something in the past that is still bothering you? So your emotions are like signals, you know? They're trying to tell you as an individual something's up, what is going on. Or it could be something simple like you feel tired, well, you need to go to sleep, right? But yeah, you guys, I feel like this is just a very simple topic because it's just that simple. You have a choice and you do not have to give in to certain emotions. If you have a goal in your life or if you have certain things that you want to do, then think about what is getting in your way. Let's say that you play soccer and you really want to be the best in your group, right? In your team, you really want to be the best. You want to make this into a whole career. You want this to be your life, but you keep, you know, missing practice. When you go home, you don't practice just because you get distracted. You don't feel like it. You just feel like, oh, I'd rather be doing something else, right? That's an emotion. You feel like you don't want to do it. Even though you got plenty of sleep that night, you're like, no, I just feel like I don't want to practice. So you can choose that even though I feel like I don't want to practice, I am still going to go outside in my backyard and I'm going to practice. I'm still going to show up to practice. I'm not going to skip a day. I'm going to make sure that I am, you know, doing extra practice classes on top of the ones that I'm already doing because I want to be the best. So this is all easier said than done, but you can do it. I know that we all want a tip, like easy tips and tricks for, you know, how to do this and how to have more self-control and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, you literally just have to do it. Literally, like you literally just have to, in that moment. And it's easy to think about this in the future as some whimsical, like there's gonna be this moment like when you magically, you know, get a hold of yourself. But the best thing to do is to, in the moment when you're feeling like you want to give into your emotions, just don't. Literally, just be like, this is the moment that I need to show myself that I'm better than this, and I'm not going to give into my emotions right now. I am going to do what I should be doing instead of giving into my emotions. Literally, it's as simple as that. Because you guys, look, I have tried this, okay? I have listened to a bunch of motivational videos. I even have a couple playlists on like motivational videos, motivational music, you know, tips and tricks for being productive. But at the end of the day, you just have to do what needs to be done when you have to do it, okay? Like these motivational videos and these tips and tricks, they're only gonna last so long. It's only like a temporary motivation, you know what I mean? Like basically you just have to stop being a weak loser. Like I know that sounds mean, but seriously, like sometimes you just have to look at yourself and just be like, oh my God, like just do the thing that I gotta do, you know? Look, you guys, I've been there where I'm feeling super unmotivated and I want to give into my emotions and I want to go back to my old habits, but you really have to sit down with yourself and think, how am I gonna feel you know, a year from now, if I keep doing this? You have to ask yourself, like, am I proud of myself? You know, am I proud of myself now? I mean, if you think about this like deeper, you know, than just some momentary motivation, like if you think about this deeper in how you view yourself and how you view your life and how like you want to make your family proud, blah blah blah, it makes it easier to do what you have to do when you have to do it, because this is not just some, oh, I'm feeling motivated right now, so I'm not gonna give into my emotions. It's deeper than that. It's like, no, I don't want to be disappointed in myself anymore. I don't want others to be disappointed in me anymore. I want to be better than what I am. So also having strong reasons for why you're making these changes can help you. Not just these superficial reasons of like, yeah, it would be cool if like I started working out, or if I ate healthier, or you know, if I save some money. Yeah, that would be cool, I guess. If you have like deeper reasons for doing things, it is going to help you to give you like long-term motivation, because you know why you are pushing yourself so hard. Everything takes time, okay? That is something that I think everyone forgets because of the internet and social media, because we get all these videos and all this information so quick, but in real life, things take time. So it is okay if it is taking time for you to be able to master yourself, right? To be able to control your actions, right? And to recognize why you're feeling what you're feeling. It is okay if things take time, because in real life, things take time. Stuff doesn't actually happen overnight, you guys. Okay, a lot of stuff takes 5 to 10 years to get the ball rolling. That's just, it's okay. And I'm not saying like it's gonna take you 10 years to like stop a bad habit, but I mean like when we look at, for example, someone's career, we look at when they started something. Let's say it's a comedian that you really like. You're gonna find out that they started doing stand-up. They started it like 10 to 15 years ago, and they're just now getting really big. It's the same thing with everything, you guys. Okay, sometimes things take time, and that's how it is. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you should give up on yourself, or you're not good enough, or you're not trying hard enough. It's just how real life is. Like, things take time, and that's literally okay. So if you feel like you're struggling with this, with having self-control, it's okay, because I guarantee you, if you keep trying, one day you're not going to be struggling anymore. I'm serious. One day you're going to literally have that thought of like, oh, I used to struggle with this and I don't struggle with it anymore. I didn't even notice. That's happened to me like a lot with a lot of things. And sometimes the transition is so slow and it's so easy that you don't even realize it unless you like wrote it down, or you have like a video and then you start remembering how, oh wait, like I remember I wanted to change that and I actually did, and I didn't even notice. Write stuff down, write your goals down, write, things that you want to improve. That way in the future you can see it did work. I actually did improve. I actually am better, and that's going to help motivate you again long term, so that in whatever future goals that you have, you always have that motivation of like, I've done this before, so I can do this again. Okay, yes. My throat is really freaking dry. Like, I keep coughing in the middle of this video. Literally, I've been coughing like 20 times. Okay, I don't know when. I think I have the flu. I don't know when it's gonna go away. But thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you like this video, let me know in the comments. Hit the like, forget it. You know what I'm trying to say. Thank you for watching this video, guys, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.